MixLR.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on MixLR.com/WakeUpCallDT. Hope you're having yourselves an awesome morning this morning, and I appreciate y'all so very much for being here where sports meets that thing called life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Staying warm here and filling your cup up right with Cafe Kubal. Make sure you do that today. Go and get your Cafe Kubal this morning and all throughout the day and fill your cup up right again and get warm. You know, it's been cool outside. I know some people like their iced coffee. Really doesn't even matter when they get their iced coffee. Could get their iced coffee on a day like today. So whether it's hot or iced, go and get yours today and enjoy it at Cafe Kubal. Their coffees, their chais, all of their teas, and everything they have to offer, including the fantastic sandwiches and treats that they have for us. The chocolate chip banana bread and the chocolate chip cookies are two of my favorites. So make sure you get out to Cafe Kubal today and support local. And simple as that, you know, just grab yourself a cup of coffee and, a chai, get a tea, and just say thank you to the community. 3501 James Street as well as 401 South Salina Street, both in Syracuse, New York. You can also find them inside of Golisano's Children's Hospital in downtown Syracuse. And you could find them on 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, in their giant behemoth of a brown-striped building. And, of course, you could find them at their newest location, their drive-through location, at the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road in North Syracuse at Sweetheart Corners. So you could find them there. And if you go and get my nachos today and any one of your favorites, including the award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly at PB&J's Lunchbox, you can grab some Cafe Kubal coffee to go with your meal on 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. So make sure you head to any one of those locations and support Cafe Kubal today. With that being stated, we have a jam-packed show for you this morning, and I'm so excited. Every single Friday, we do our trio of signature segments, and so this Friday is absolutely positively no different. We're going to be jumping into the annoying moment of the week in just a second, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Then we'll hop into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver. And we'll be discussing today's topic with my co-host, Juanita Ward, praying with an open mind. Praying with an open mind. So not just praying, but praying to listen to God. Not to tell God, but to listen. It's a hard thing to do. And I've struggled with it, but praying with an open mind. Listening to what the big guy's got to say. So we'll discuss that here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in just a little bit at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Lead, Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver is the acronym. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Then we'll announce our top dog of the week. Top dog of the week coming to you from Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. In my opinion, the only place to bring your dog for short and long-term care. Right there off of Bridge Street in East Syracuse. And we'll wrap up the show as we always do on Fridays, bringing you Pacer Pride. So excited for Pacer Pride, and that's going to be coming to you this second hour, 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time today. You're going to be hearing from Jacob Adler, the newly hired Director of ESports at Marywood University. So we're going to be jumping into the world of esports, something we've never done on Wake Up Call before. So we're going to make history today, jumping into the gaming world and esports and what it is and why athletic programs are looking to bring this in and just what it means, to give you some background on exactly what esports is all about. And we're going to the new hire at Marywood University to do that with Jacob Adler joining the show in just a few moments, just a little bit here. And that'll be at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time in the newest edition of Pacer Pride, our exclusive content with the Marywood University Pacers in our multimedia marketing partnership. So a lot of great stuff coming up here on today's broadcast, A Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Appreciate you being here more than you know, and I cannot wait to bring you all the good stuff. So let's jump right into the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like, and I want to remind you that they are open. So don't let the cold weather fool you. That those fantastic flavors we love from Carvel and those Carvel ice cream cakes we get for every occasion, they are there for you on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. So make sure you head out there today. With that being said, the annoying moment of the week is first on the docket, and we're jumping into it right here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, the longest standing segment on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, your annoying moment of the week. And I think I have a couple this week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you... Is that for real? Are you kidding me? The annoying moment of the week. I'm really honest. I don't know how to respond to this. Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like. You have to be that crazy. I guess so.
The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. And my annoying moment of the week this week, well, I have a couple. My first one is telemarketers, right? Because they've gotten, it's not like, I didn't think telemarketers could get more annoying. I didn't think they could get more invasive. But now telemarketers send you, we know that they send us emails. We know that they call us. But now, they call us from numbers that look like our hometown. And if it's not our hometown, it looks like places we've been, right? If we had just taken a trip to Florida, they'll call us from a Florida number, 407. If we're living in Syracuse, they'll call us from a Syracuse number, 315. And now, on top of calling us and emailing us, telemarketers and all these like crazy things, they text you now. I got a text this week from Mariana. Hi, Dan, it's Mariana. Just wanted to talk to you about your capital and where things are, yada, yada. It looks like a normal person texting you. I got something on WhatsApp this week. I constantly get stuff on Instagram. These bots, this spam, telemarketers. I'll put it all into one pile of garbage. There's one that calls you. It tells you the IRS is coming after you and has a warrant for your arrest. That has to be illegal. You can't falsify a warrant or falsify. You could, but you know what I'm saying? There has to be something illegal about falsifying a warrant. There has to be something illegal about telling someone they're being arrested when they're not being arrested. There should be something, or like claiming the IRS, or the one that calls you and talks to you about your auto loan. I remember one of the original ones was years ago, and I was just coming out of college, and they would tell you want a cruise, and you pick up the phone, and you'd be like, hello, and then you hear, hey, this is the Bahama blah 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 about the mosquitoes, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Just hit 1 if you want your free cruise. And then I went through this whole thing. It was funny, on this radio station I won a cruise, but I did not win a cruise. I had to pay for stuff. And then I had to call this thing, and then they ended up charging me, and then they wouldn't take it off my credit card, and I didn't go on the cruise. So yeah. I am scammers, spammers, and telemarketers. I guess that's my annoying moment of the week, the best way to put it. Scammers, spammers, and telemarketers. It's all wrong. When my phone rings, and this is the thing, because of what I do, because I'm a business person, because I work in the entertainment world, because I'm constantly talking to different people and setting things up and doing this, that, and the other, it puts me in a place where if somebody calls me, I got to know, okay, is this somebody I should be talking to? And, is this someone that, is this somebody that I forgot to put in my phone? Is this a friend of somebody that I didn't, that I had met, and I'm trying to get some things set up? So to me, I have to be very choosy about this stuff, and I don't just hand my phone number out. People that know me know that. So it's one of those things where if you have my number and you're talking to me like you know me, and, then I've gotten hip to the game. But at the same time, I just do. I feel like it's wrong. I feel like it's invasive. I feel like, and it's scary, What if my grandmother got a call that she was getting arrested by the IRS and that somebody had a warrant out for her? I can't imagine that my grandmother wouldn't freak out. There's people that have anxiety. There's people that have stress. There's people that are suicidal. If you call some of these people, there's people that have, split personality disorder. There's people that have, other types of mental things going on and whatnot. Somebody could be having a nervous breakdown when they get on these phone calls. So, and then somebody could not know, right? Somebody could get a call about their car insurance and go, "Oh my gosh, I gotta set this up. There must be a problem." See, that's the thing. These people prey on your weakness. They prey on your lack of knowledge. They prey on your lack of wisdom. They prey on your lack of community or people out there to support you. They hope that you don't understand, so you call back or that you respond or that you try to figure it out. That has to be criminal. It has to be criminal. And I'm sick of it. And I think it's really wrong. And now they're texting us. It's so invasive. I can't tell you the text messages I get now. It's ridiculous. And it needs to stop. And I don't appreciate it. And I don't applaud it. And I don't understand what business are trying to gain from this besides the fact of getting arrested and going to jail. So I don't understand. And, I have my wherewithal and my wits about me, thank God. And I pray that I always do by the grace of God. Some people don't. Some people have no idea. You call a 17-year-old who just started driving recently and you tell them that their car insurance is up and their warranty and this, that, and whatever. They might call the dealership, call their parents, they might call you back, try to figure it out. So, I don't understand it. I don't know how it's legal. I don't know how these people get our numbers, and it just needs to stop. It needs to stop. The government needs to spend all the time it does doing nothing and do something. So I really would love that, and I would greatly appreciate that. My second annoying moment of the week is this beautiful weather that we're having, because yesterday, now here's my take here. Now rock with me on this. I love snow. I love the purity of it. I love the beauty of it. I could live anywhere in the world, and tornadoes, hurricanes, monsoons, tsunamis, mudslides, yada, 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 all of that stuff. We don't get that, thank God, here in central and upstate New York. More often than not, hopefully never. We get snowstorms and we get ice. Now, the ice is dicey, but the snowstorms, you can play in them. I'm looking outside right now, sitting here in the Cafe Kubal Studios, and it's beautiful. Like seeing the snow and just how it's like this little, it's not falling like crazy, it's just dancing through the air a little bit, and it's all pure white on the ground as if it's never been touched. One of the purest things we'll ever see on the planet, I think. And it's beautiful, It's just the travel part of it. And I don't know what's going on nowadays. I don't know if the snow has gotten stronger. I don't know if the ice has gotten more elusive. But I feel like either we're not salting the roads or we're not salting the roads enough, because yesterday driving there was almost nothing on the ground. It was very, very deceptive because it just looked like there was maybe a layer forming, but I slid a lot. And I love my car. I'm in the Honda CR-V. That car saved my life years ago. That car didn't flip over when I slid this one time, which was really scary. And so, I look at the vehicle that I'm in, and it's built to be tough in this stuff. And I feel like even the cars with the four-wheel drive and this and that, we still slide. And I don't drive fast. I used to drive faster in the snow. I've kind of learned my lesson this year, and I've really slowed it down, And yesterday, here's my annoying moment of the week, because this is the thing. So yesterday, I had a meeting, and I'm driving, and I'm trying to find a parking spot. And I find a parking spot, and there's snow on the ground, but again, it doesn't look like it's crazy snow. It doesn't look like it's crazy ice. So I've just kind of learned that if it looks like nothing, it's probably something. So I turn to pull in, and as I'm pulling in, there's a car right across from me. And I pull in, and I'm going, I don't even know, 4 miles an hour. I pull into my spot, and as I'm pulling in, I put my brake on, and it starts to bounce, and my car starts to slide forward. So what I did was I took my foot off for a second, then just put it on, and kind of kept it gently on the brake, and then put my car in park, and then let go, and hope that my car would stop. And it did. So that was good. Yay! But, it's also scary, very scary to be in a position like that. Now, by the grace of God, and thanks be to God, and to the great people that, put together our car, my car at Honda, thank you to the people that worked on it, and thank you to God, it stopped. But I'm sitting here thinking, am I going to roll right into this car? Am I just going to, like, hit this car going 2 miles an hour? But still, you know, like, how am I supposed to get out of this parking spot? Are we going to be nose to nose when they come out? Are they going to think somebody smashed into them? I mean, it's just, the thing about this is, and people are traveling, you know? I know people today that have to make a trek from Pennsylvania. And so, you know, they got to go through Binghamton. They got to go through Cortland. So, and that's the thing. It may be fine in East Stroudsburg, but it may not be fine in Scranton, or it may not be fine in Cortland, or it may not be fine in Syracuse, it may not be fine in Binghamton. You know, you got to go through all those places on the way to it. So I just hope that people stay safe. I hope that they stay well, because this weather, you know, again, I love the beauty of the snow. I love, love, love the beauty of the snow. These storms seem to be getting stronger, smarter, and like I said before, more elusive. So I don't know if our salt needs to get better. I don't know if we need to get out there more. It's funny how, like, you hear the plow in the middle of the night, but I don't see a ton of plows. I haven't seen a ton of plows this winter season, and I really hope that they're not dealing with a shortage like everybody else, because people want to stay home and do absolutely nothing with their lives. So I really, really hope that that is not the case, because we really can't afford to not have the person serving us coffee, or the person at the movie theater, you know, pulling our ticket, or the person at the airline making sure that our bags are all set and going to the right destination. We can't afford to lose anybody. No, none of the people that are, you know, doing trash pickup, that are doing brush pickup, that are salting the roads. We can't afford to lose anybody. And I feel that what we've learned in the past couple of years is that you can do absolutely nothing, have no responsibility, no care for anyone in the community other than yourself, and that someone will hand you money and applaud you for being selfish, self-centered, and ignorant. And that can't be our society. It can't be. You know, and when you get people dependent for money, and you get them dependent on you, then you can control them. Because if you're their source of income and they're not working for themselves and you're just handing them money from your institution, I'm not talking about businesses. I'm talking about when you sit at home. Now listen, getting a stipend, fine. Getting the PPP loan, fantastic. But paying people to stay at home and having the government say, we'll buy your phone, we'll buy your car, we'll buy your apartment, we'll furnish your apartment, we'll buy you food, and we'll give you a check every week to stay home and do nothing. What happens if they suddenly one day say, no, we're pulling the money? They own you. You have to understand that. They own you. When you don't work for your money, you don't work for a paycheck, and you don't have a connection to a business, that's not good. Now, granted, not every business is good. But when you rely on that and you do nothing for yourself and you have no leg to stand on, they can kick out your legs from under you and you're theirs. So I just want people to please, if you are able, I can't imagine growing up as a kid, willing and able. I know people that work at Disney that, I mean, you know how many times I go to places of work, places of business, people are working there that have no legs. People are working there that are in their wheelchair for the rest of their life. I went to work on crutches. Put my leg up and did my thing. You know, I have seen so many people, you know, intellectually challenged, or whatever the politically correct, you know, word is, for going to work. You know what I mean? It's like nothing has stopped, you know, somebody with Down syndrome, or somebody with an injury, or somebody with an amputation. You know, I mean, developmental issues and whatnot. It hasn't stopped them. So, I mean, I just look at people and I say, do you have two arms? Do you have two legs? You have your wits about you? You got your brain about you? Do you have any intellectual, you know, things holding you back? There's people that are dyslexic that'll go and work as a cashier, because they'll train themselves to work every day at getting it right. I mean, if you want it, you can get it. And, I mean, there's a guy on social media I follow. He has a torso. He literally has no legs and one arm. And he looks extremely successful. I mean, it's It's your spirit. You know, what did Gandhi say? Gandhi said, you can chain down my body, but you can't chain down my spirit. So I think we owe it to each other to go to work. I think we owe it to each other to try. I think we owe it to each other to be a contributing member of society. Think about it like this. If you stay at home and you get free money from the government, and not only do they own you, but I want you to think of something else. You could live and die and nobody would know you. Or maybe a couple people would, but the world wouldn't know. You would leave no legacy. When you died, it would be as if you were never here before, because you've contributed nothing to society. Opening a door for someone can change their life. If you're sitting in the house eating your Cheerios, getting free money, laughing at the government and everybody, all the other ones of us that are going out there and working hard, guess what? We don't know you. We don't know you. You got to be more than somebody that just abuses a privilege, or else that's all you're going to be. Somebody in a system. And that's it. You know, the businesses that I work with and what they do, what they're willing to do, Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, Wildcat Sports Pub, Mon Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, Progressive Dental, K9 Kamp Dog Daycare, Avicoli's, K9 Kampground Dog Boarding, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, the Lemoyne Dolphins, the Marywood Pacers, the Bryan and Stratton Bobcats, Pizza Man, Honda City of Liverpool, Millhouse Market, PB&J's Lunchbox, Victory Sports Medicine Orthopedics, and Mother's Cupboard. They're filled with fantastic people. Let me go back to it for a second. The Matt Goddards, the Danny Tomes, the Jay Cartinis, the James and Angela Bells, the Sonny Spiras, the Johns and the Nick Avicolis, the Lorraine Perrys, Chad Davids, the Heather Wilsons, the Jimmer Sikowskis, the Betty Sikowskis, the Julia Getmans, the Rebecca Alfords, the Jim Delia, Jimmy Delia, Luke Delias, the Bob Berettas, the Nick Dmitrievskis, the Pat Murphys, the Sister Mary Persicos, the Dr. Linda Lemuras, the Brad Townsends, the George Townsends, the Dr. Mark Petropolis, the Amy's, the Petes, the Pats, the Sues. I know these people. They work hard. So my annoying moment of the week, I guess my third scoop, is what are you doing with your life? How are you contributing? Are you human? Are you human? I wear this shirt for much more than what it was meant to be for. Are you human? Divide and conquer, folks. We live in a society right now where they're trying to own you and separate you from other people. And you and I can't do that. We can't afford that. While we're watching the Kardashians eating popcorn, they got their hands in your pocket and they're putting cuffs around your arms. We have to be smarter. My grandfathers, my great uncles, my great aunts, they fought for my grandmothers, they fought for something way bigger than you could even imagine. So it's not good enough to think about me and my family. I think about us, right? And I feel like in this world we've kind of lost because we've been told everybody hates you. If they don't look like you, if they don't dress like you, if they don't have your money, if they don't have your nationality, if they don't speak your language, if they're not the same color as you, they don't like you. That's what we've been told. We've been told, stay home, do nothing, we'll pay for it. Don't worry about being responsible. Don't worry about going to college. Don't try. Don't try. Everybody gets a trophy. Stop trying. That's what we've been told. Do you know what that does to the psyche of a human being? If you're raised in hate, you're raised in prejudice, you're raised in sexism, you're raised in racism, and you're raised without personal responsibility, you will become not great. when society doesn't care about, we have to care about each other. We can't expect, I don't expect people that lead to care about me. I made myself a leader. So sometimes I may go in the direction of that leader, sometimes I may not. All I know is at the end of the day, there's only one being I serve. There's only one thing that matters to me more than anything, and that's God. There's no materialistic peace. There's no money. There's no notoriety. There's no power. There's no prestige. There's no clout. There's no golden key that's bigger than my belief in God. And we owe it to each other to work together. I don't want to hear anybody complain about, why didn't I get my food on time? Because people aren't going to work. Well, why is the movie theater not? Because people aren't going to work. Well, how come this is open? The restaurant, how come this is open but only half? How come the restaurant looks wide open but I had to wait an hour to sit? Because people aren't coming to work. We have to talk about that. Do you think I want to talk about that? I don't want to talk, but we have to talk about it. It's an annoying moment, okay? Because if our roads not being paved for the safety and security of our people in central and upstate New York and beyond, and that's because people don't feel like going to work because the government's giving them money, they're putting all of us at risk to be selfish and get free money. That's not good enough. And it's never going to be. And so for me, I find it imperative that we do right by each other. It's not an option. It's not an option. It's a necessity. We owe it to each other to look after each other. What does your mom always tell you when she leave the house? Look after your brother. Watch your sister. What does your dad say? Make sure the dog's okay, right? We should be trained, learn to look after each other, to be someone who looks and watches and makes sure that someone else is okay. That's what we're supposed to do. And we owe it to each other to do that. My annoying moments of the week. Spammers, scammers, and telemarketers. That's one. The ice in I just need this weather to clear up for us all today and beyond. That's two. Doesn't mean I don't like the purity of the snow and the beauty of the snow. I just want to be safe today so we can all travel today and beyond. And number three, the lack of personal responsibility, staying at home and not realizing that somebody is literally putting a collar around your neck and a leash. So please be smart. Please be good. And leave the house. And when you leave the house, go to Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. It is what happy tastes like. It's a great place for the family. I've made so many memories there. It's so much more than ice cream. It's a part of life. It's a piece of your life. It's a piece of your memories. It's a piece of all those really happy moments. At least for my family, that's what we have. So make sure you head off to Carvel DeWitt today. Let them know the Wake Up Call sent you. And get your Orange Dream right now. The Orange Dream is my spin on a creamsicle in a sundae and a shake form. So you get a creamsicle like a sundae or you drink it like a shake. It's called the Orange Dream, obviously because the city is decked out in orange. So that is my give back to the city from Carvel DeWitt. There and exclusively there on 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York, along with all their cakes, flying saucers, dashers, carvalanches, and so much more. Head out to Carvel DeWitt today. It is what happy tastes like. We'll be back right after this fast break as we continue inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin' list of topics for the day. Next up on the docket, we have Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, with my co-host, Miss Juanita Ward. Coming up for you right after this on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life from inside of the Cafe Kubal studios.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. You're tuning in live every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. You're also watching and listening on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on facebook.com/livenowdt. So however you're connecting with the show, we thank you so much for tuning in. Up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the world, we thank you to all of our listeners, viewers, everybody, supporters, people that have connected with me on wakeupcalldt.com on the site and all over the place from Germany to England to Russia to Italy to Spain to Mexico to Canada and so on, China, so on and so forth, as well as all of you in central and upstate New York, our second home of Florida, also another home of mine in Pennsylvania. So big thanks to each and every single one of you. It means the world to me, and I just want to spend this time to acknowledge and appreciate, as I always do, just how much it means to me that you take the time to take the time. So, with that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora from inside the Cafe Kubal studios, it's time to jump into our next piece, and every single Friday around 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we jump into Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, with my co-host, Miss Juanita Ward. She is an author, she is a mentor, she is a child of God. Proudly, she is a beacon of hope, that flame, that torch that she is looking to not only carry through this world, but to pass to the next person so that they can help that light shine a little bit brighter. So with that being said, I proudly bring her onto the show. Our topic today is praying with an open mind. And Juanita Ward here with me on Lead, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. Let's bring my sister in. Miss Juanita, how are we doing today?
Hey, Dan. How's it going, man?
It's going very well. And Juanita, I know you said off the air, you said, man, we got some winter going on. It's like 20. Hey, listen, if you got ice, listen, all I know is when I shoveled today to try and give Lily a path so she could go potty, I'm trying to shovel the path, and I'm hitting something. And I was like, did I strike gold? No. Is this a treasure chest? No. It's an ice sheet underneath the snow. So there's snow ice block, more snow. So I'm crunching that today, throwing that. So I'm sorry it's been cold down there, but unless you got that ice sheet and the snow and the layer of other snow and more snow, I think you guys are going to be all right.
Thanks for that, weatherman Dan.
you guys are going to be okay.
Look, you were doing the weather in Syracuse and in New York and in Mississippi. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Dan, for the weather app. Look, let me tell you something. When it gets cold down here, everything shuts down. Okay, when the temperature goes below a certain amount, everybody's like, "Oh no, I'm staying in the house. I'm not getting out." You know, everybody's calling all type of apps to come and bring them food and so forth. It's just the way of living in Mississippi, man. If you've never dealt with the amount of snow that you all have, you know, we have, it's cold down here and black ice, and so it's been raining. And so, you know, the wise thing to do is to stay put, you know, until all of that melt. So you don't want any people getting out there driving and, you know, slipping on some black ice or something like that. But it is pretty cold down here.
Well, you know, and that's the thing. That's what I tell people. You know, this is what you got to tell people that you know, like your friends. Like if you know somebody in your family or your friends and they're like really bad drivers, you just tell them there's black ice. Because you got to keep them off the road for us. You know what I mean? So like up here, they're like, man, how the road's doing, Dan? I'm like, oh, no, there's black ice. You better stay in the house. You better stay in the house probably till April. Because these people drive crazy up here. It is insane how some of these people drive. But yesterday, I want to commend Central and Upstate New York. I don't know what got into us, but we were all driving slow, giving each other space. You know, when I was slowing down, like I don't want to hit somebody, the guy behind me was slowing down. Nobody was up my butt. Everything was good. We were being safe. We were being careful. So let me say, Central and Upstate New York, yes, we did it. We finally, for like a day, we were like gentle in the snow, but we got to stay that way, Juanita. So I'm just going to tell you, down there in Jackson, Mississippi, if you know that your girl's a bad driver, just tell her there's black ice. Be like, oh, baby, you got to stay in the house today because you need to protect the rest of the world from her. And that's how it's got to be. That's what I do up here. I'm like, man, I know my buddy's, you know, I don't need him out here today in these streets driving around by me. So I'm just like, no, you should stay in, keep the kids in the house, just go do something else. He's like, Dan, it's 80 degrees and sunny. I'm like, yeah, man, but there's that black ice outside. You got to be careful. So just got to be smart. That's it. But looking at what we have here today and with all the, I do hope everybody's staying safe and staying well. But with everything that we have going on today, something that really hit me this week was the topic of praying with an open mind. And what I mean by that is, it's self-explanatory, but the reality of that we shouldn't just pray, but we should pray not telling God what we want, but asking God to show us what He wants. And I think that is a prayer that I've learned. It's scary. I get an upset stomach over it. I'm not going to lie about it because sometimes I'm thinking, well, what I want may not be what He wants. But, you pray with an open mind because the reality of it all is you may want to go down a path and you might think that path is going to bear fruit. But it may not be the path for you, and it may bear something, and it may give you something, and it may be very good looking, but it may be temporary. And I think that, for God, He knows what's going to happen at the end of that. He knows if a road's going to lead to a dead end or if it's going to lead to greener pastures. He knows that. And I think, with us, we tell God, hey, this is the path I'm going to go down. This is the job I got to have. This is the person I got to marry. This is the house I got to live in. This is the area I got to be in. I never thought I was coming back to Syracuse. I was down in Florida. And so how did I get back here? I prayed about it, and I trusted it. And I saw a shooting star when I prayed for it. How did I know that the relationships that I was in weren't good for me? I listened. I prayed. I prayed to God for a year. I prayed to God for a year when I was married to guide me. For a year. And, so people will say, well, He didn't answer you quick enough. Oh, He did, because the last time I prayed, He answered me within 24 hours. And so I don't look at it like I prayed for a year. I look at it like I prayed consistently and tried to keep myself open with God. Could have been more consistent, and that He was showing me all along, but He was more than clear to me. So we may think we know, but we have no idea. And the reality of it all is praying with an open mind. I think for me, Juanita, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this, it's my way of saying, God, this is something that that is meaningful to me. That's why I'm praying about it. But I'm not going to tell you what has to be. I'm going to ask you what you want from me. And I think that those are vastly different things.
Dan, you make a great point. Sometimes we get caught up in trying to tell God, who is not a person, what we want in life. And we think that we can control the situation by telling him what we want in life. And when we understand words are so powerful. Words are so powerful. They have meaning behind them, and they also shape our future. So when we realize that we're not talking to a person, and we're talking to a spirit that is omnipresent, which means he's everywhere at one time, yet while he's handling your business, he's also handling somebody else's business in, another part of the world. Yet he's in the United States, but he's also in another country. And he's also in another town, and he's also at somebody's house, while yet they're going through their trouble or their problem. Yet he's over in somebody else's celebration while they are being blessed from all of the things that they have been able to achieve. So when we understand that God is not a person, we therefore can understand how to talk to him. We have to know the word, because words, as I said, are so powerful. And this is a very strong topic that we're talking about today. And so I want everyone to definitely open up their ears to really hear what's being said, because what happens is, a lot of times people think that they can talk to God as if they're talking to another person. And you have to come to God with the right heart. You have to come to God knowing that he is God, which means he is all powerful, all knowing, almighty. And he's going to do what he knows is best for your life, not what you think is best for your life. Yes, he gave us an opportunity. He gives us an opportunity to let our requests be made known to God. And he says this. He says, be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be known to God, which means, yes, we can ask him, not tell him. We can ask him, God, if it is your will, for me to have this. And here's the thing, we have to know how to ask God. Sometimes people ask God with pride. Sometimes people ask God with arrogance. Sometimes people ask God with a deceitful heart, or with a I'm going to get you back type heart, or make me rich, or let me have this so that I can look better in front of those people. See, once again, we have to know that God knows everything. So when we're talking to him, you cannot outsmart a spirit. You cannot outsmart God, because he's all-knowing. So when you talk to him, you have to talk to him correct. And how do you talk to him correct? You have to become humble. You have to surrender. You have to submit. Most importantly, you have to ask for forgiveness. Because if the prayer request that you are asking of God to do for you so that you can become more powerful in something that is not geared to glorify God, then you're asking for a prayer in vain. And God wants us to always surrender and submit to him. So he says this in Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans that I have for you, plans of good and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope. So if the plans that God has for us is to give us a future and a hope, then we have to line our heart up with him, which means if we don't know him, how can we align with him? And how do we know him? By getting close to him, by spending time with him, by developing a relationship with him, talking to him. But most importantly, you have to humble yourself before the throne of grace. You may not humble yourself to other people because pride and arrogance may step in the way. You may not have respect for other people because pride and arrogance may step in the way. Some may say, oh, you're no bigger than me. Well, it shouldn't be like that, because if we are living in a servant's heart, and we are living a servant's mind, there's always respect that has to be given. And if someone doesn't respect the person that God has sent, then they're disrespecting God. So we have to come with a humble mindset. We have to come with a servant's heart. We have to surrender. We have to surrender and submit. And in order to get a prayer through, you can't talk to God like he's a regular person. Because God also said this, for my thoughts are not your thoughts, nor are my ways your ways. Which means whatever I am asking him, we have to ask him, God, if this is your will, let it be done.
Yeah.
If it isn't God's will, it's not going to be done.
Yeah, and that's reality. I think that's the thing. What I've realized in 36 years is fighting God's will doesn't work. And yeah, I understand there's things that we want. There's things that we want, and there's things in my work life where I thought, like I did my job, I did what I was supposed to do. Like, why didn't I get a promotion? Why didn't I get this? Why was it so hard for that? Why was it so hard for them to see what I was doing? Then I think about it, I'm like, Dan, if you stayed in that job and you were doing that, you wouldn't have started your own company. So obviously, God knew there was something else for there. He kept leading you somewhere. He kept leading you. He kept leading you. He kept leading you, and you saw it. So don't keep thinking about what about that road. You weren't supposed to be on that road. Yeah, but I liked it. Okay, you liked it. But look at what you've done with the road he put you on. Look at all the lives that would not have been affected if you had been on the other road. All the people you wouldn't have met, all the things that you wouldn't have done. Think about that. You don't end up at a signing ceremony with someone's entire family if you stayed in this other job. God wanted you here. And trust that. And I can't tell you how many times in relationships I said to God, I remember being in high school, I had a crush. I hardly knew her. I still hardly know her. I don't know much of anything about her. And I said to God, I got to be with this person. I got to be with this person. I know it. She's the one. That's it. She's my Topanga. Boy meets world. Let's do it. And I remember going outside and praying to the stars and going, God, can you just make it happen? Not praying to the stars, but looking up to the stars, praying to God. And he didn't make it happen. And I look back on it now and I'm like, man, I didn't know anything about that person. I still don't. I don't know, like, are they mean? Are they nice? Do we have anything in common? Do they have morals? Do they have values? Do they believe in God? Would they go to church with me? Would they love Lily? It doesn't matter. And so I think that, so many times in life, I think if I'm ever blessed to have children, I think that, and I already have Lily and she's my girl, so if I don't have a human baby, I already have the baby I need. So when I look at, if I was ever a father of a human child and they came to me and said, man, Dad, like, I'm really supposed to be with this person. I know they're they might be stubborn like me growing up, but I'd say, you're going to say this to me about 12 more times, 17 more times, 5 more times, 8 more times, and then you're going to meet your wife, and then you're going to meet your husband. Like, don't worry about it. And I think that's what, my parents, I know that's what my parents were trying to get through to me, and I wasn't listening back then. And I think, with God being the ultimate parent, we don't always listen, but God's never trying to hurt you. And I think people don't understand that. Like, you look back on all the things you told him you wanted, the people, the jobs, the places, people, places, and things. And why didn't he give them to you? And look at where you are. You know what I mean? It's like, and somebody said, well, Dan, what if I was homeless and I was asking for a home, or I was asking for this, or I was asking for that? God is going to meet you halfway. And you have to meet him. I can't sit on a couch and say, God, make my business. And I think that some people see that way. And I think, it's really hard. It's hard. And Juanita, I guess I would ask you this. When we pray with an open mind, there's people that are in abusive relationships. There's people that are abused by their parents. And they're praying and wondering, why is God not getting me out of this? They might be 4 years old. They might be 8 years old. They might be homeless. They might have just had somebody die of cancer that they love dearly. They might have had somebody die in a car crash instantly, and they might have been sitting in the passenger seat right next to them. What would you say to them when they're praying with an open mind? Because I think it's important to look at the fact that there are people listening and watching right now saying, well, Juanita, Dan, you're telling me to pray with an open mind, but what about when it's like a huge tragedy or there's abuse or there's just like something going on that looks like we can't get through it? What would you say to those people?
Keep the faith. There's nothing too hard for God. Keep the faith. There's nothing too hard for God. You know, Dan, I'm going to tell you this, and I got to give you a story about how I was able to keep the faith coming out of a, incident that happened. You know, I've been through so much in my life, and so I would use this story. You know, I was in a job, and while I was on the job, I had so many people that were coming against me, and it felt extremely hard. And I had people telling me, literally the bosses telling me every single day, bringing me into the office, telling me every single day, why haven't you bumped your head up against the wall? Why hadn't you just ran through the wall? Why hadn't you just, hit your head up against the brick wall? I mean, do you know that we're actually doing this to you on purpose? You cannot be that strong. You cannot be that type of woman that is that strong. We don't understand why this is not causing you problems. So I will go from one meeting to another meeting, and I'll go sit in the other meeting, and then the other person would tell me, well, why hadn't this happened to you? What are you doing? What is this? I mean, we know that you love God. We know that you serve God. We know that you have a relationship with the Holy Spirit. So why? Just talk to me. I want to know why. This is a true story, Dan. This actually happened to me. Yeah. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, this mental abuse is absolutely crazy. Why do these people want to see something happen? Why are they trying so hard to hurt me? Why are they trying so hard to break me? The only thing that I'm doing is doing my job. I'm not causing any problems. I'm not causing any havoc. But why do they continuously keep bringing me into the office every single day, telling me, why am I not bumping my head? Women are supposed to be on a roller coaster. Here you have men trying to tell me how I'm supposed to act as a woman because of something that they have saw that they think that women are supposed to be. Women are supposed to be on a roller coaster. Their emotions are supposed to be going up and down. This is what was being told to me. And I'm sitting there looking, and I'm saying, God, fix this. God, please help me. God, please help me. But see, I had to do my part. And my part was I had to pray and trust and believe that God was going to get me out. I had to keep a steady mind. They didn't know that I was going home every day, praying out to God, that I was going home every day crying and praying and crying and praying and thanking him in the process. And I know that sounds extremely weird, but here's the thing. We have to thank God for everything that happens because God is an all-knowing God. And here's my thing. I was thanking him for this situation that was going on. I was thanking him for this situation that was going on. And I'm just telling you my story to kind of give you an understanding of what I did to get out. God did his part, and I had to do mine. And my part was I needed to come to a surrenderance of telling God, God, listen, you are all-knowing. You're all-sovereign. This is the day that the Lord has made. I shall rejoice and be glad in it. For the joy of the Lord is my strength. God, I know that you created this day. I know that everything that goes on in this day, nothing slips past you because you're a God that sit up high and look down low. I know, God, that you are going to make a way. I don't like this feeling. I don't like this storm that I'm in. I don't like this. I'm being accused for absolutely no reason. Just because somebody said, literally, they're saying that they're trying to break me because of the God that I serve. This is a true story. This happened. I want to break you, Juanita, because the God that you serve, because you're too perfect. We think you're too perfect, not knowing that I'm human. But the reality is this. God said that he will give you a confidence. And the only thing that we're doing every single day is I'm just trusting and believing. Just trusting and believing. Just trusting and believing and praying to him. Trusting and believing that a big God is going to get me out. But here's the thing. I did not jump on the side that they wanted me to jump on, which was to be nasty, to be rude, to be mean. I left that particular job. One day as I was going home, I looked over to the left and I saw this cross in the sky that was made out of the clouds. I looked up in the sky with tears running down my face in the car. And before I saw that, I'm asking God, why are they doing this? I had broken at that moment. While I was in the car, it was just me and God. And that's when that cloud, and I still have the picture, and I'll send it to you, Dan. That's when that cloud of a cross came into the sky. And this is what dropped into my spirit. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, and in all thy way God will direct your path. I was in a really tough situation. An abusive, mentally, abusing me mentally, trying to destroy me mentally. The words that was coming against me was so strong and very abusive mentally. But God spoke to me clear as day. Trust in the Lord with all thine heart. With all thine heart. That doesn't mean trusting him sometimes. That doesn't mean when I get a little break, I trusted him. When he gives me a little blessing, I trusted him. Even in the good and the bad, I still have to trust him. I still have to believe him. I trusted him. I read the word because the word for me gives life. As we say all the time, the Bible is the basic information or basic instructions before leaving earth. Only thing I'm saying is this. If you're in a storm, storms don't last forever. Storms don't last forever. And when you're in a storm, say you're in a boat, and there's a storm that has risen on the water, God has given you 2 pedals. Use them. Use them. Don't just let them lay dormant. You have to get yourself out of the storm, but you got to believe. But you got to believe. You got to believe. God does not twist anybody's arm to make them do nothing. God has given us free will. We have to believe. We have to believe. And that's what I did, Dan. I believed every single day. I still went back to the job. I had to keep going back to the job because that was my job. But I knew God was going to make a way. And sure enough, God made a way. He knows everything that's going on. We just have to trust him and believe. And then we have to use what he has given us. Free will, free mind. But we have to trust him and believe. All things happen. There's so much that's going to happen in our life. I didn't want my grandmother to pass away, but guess what? She had to go back to the center. And you know what I had to do in that moment? I had to thank God. Thank you, God, for allowing me to have so many years on this earth with her to teach me wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Don't allow that situation to turn you into something sour and bitter. Be grateful for the moments and the times that you have here with someone. Cherish that moment. Cherish that time. Because we're not all going to live for forever. At some point, we will return to the sender. We got to make sure that our life is right so that we can go back up there. Because if we're living a life of sin, you won't be going to heaven. But God gives us all a free opportunity to repent, to get it right, to say, God, I love you. Forgive me of anything that I've done. Forgive me of anybody that has ever spoken anything bad about me. God, I forgive them. We have to live a life of saying, God, I trust you. I trust you. I trust you. And I know that you're going to get me out of this. I trust you. And that's what I did, Dan. I trust him. I prayed and I trust. I prayed and I believe. I prayed and I had faith. And I trusted that God had a plan.
And, and in this conversation that we're having, Juanita, everything you just said, it led me to that quote, tough times don't last, tough people do. Tough times don't last, tough people do. That eventually the storm, right? Remember? No matter how bad the storm is, I remember there was a thing called a microburst. And it happened in Syracuse. It's like a mini tornado. And it happened Labor Day, the night before Labor Day. And I remember I woke up, I had a headache like immediately. And it looked like the lights were flicking on and off outside, like someone was just hitting a switch, and it was just lightning, just constant. And it sounded like a train. It was loud. I couldn't go to sleep. It was just roaring. There's sirens and everything. It was just awful, awful. And I woke up and we found out it was a mini tornado, and that's when I found out what a microburst is called. And I'm sitting here thinking in my head, that's a small tornado? As crazy as that experience was, that's just like scratching the surface of what a tornado is. And I just remember thinking, oh my God, I already felt bad for people dealing with tornadoes and hurricanes, but oh my Lord, God, what they have to deal with, Lord. But it stopped. And when it stopped the next morning at 10 o'clock in the morning, it was so quiet. It was so quiet. And so I think back to that time, and I need to think back to that more often, is like, tough times don't last. Tough people do. And yeah, there might be stuff to clean up. There may be things to repair. But you're still here. And I just remember how, it sounded like a night that I was praying to God, like, just let this end. Just let it end. I was like, I was screaming. I'm holding my ears. And I felt like I couldn't even hear myself screaming. It was so loud. And I was like, just let this end, God. Just let this end. And then the next morning, it was like nothing happened. It was just calm. And so, that's what I think about when I think, like, I'm in this storm right now and it looks like it's never going to end. This situation looks like it's never going to get better. I honestly feel like I'm never going to feel better. I feel sick to my stomach. My brain hurts. My heart hurts. I feel attacked. I feel at a loss. I'm confused. I feel like there's no answer. There's no why. There's no reason. How could this happen to me? It's never, ever going to, like, I just can't stop feeling this pain. And then you wake up that one day and it's gone. You wake up that day after the microburst and it's calm. And you just see, like, I don't know, like a feather go through the air, and you're like, how is this world so calm and this feather so dainty just flying through the air so softly after this thing came through? And that's everything of what you just said, is that tough times don't last, tough people do. And that when you pray to God, you have to have that open mind. You don't pray to God and say, God, give me this. You pray to God and say, God, I love you. First and foremost, thank you for waking me up this morning. Secondly, I appreciate everything you've given me, including my strife, because it's made me who I am. Thirdly, God, this is on my mind. And I always say two things to God almost daily. I say, guide and guard me. Guide and guard me. Guide me toward where you want me. Guard me from where you don't. Because then I'm telling God, this is the situation in the topic. And we don't need to tell God the situation in the topic center. He already knows. All we have to do is go to him. He already knows. He knows everything. We forget that. You were trying to explain something to God for an hour and a half. God's like, I know, my child. I get it. I understand. But the way that I keep myself from telling God what to do in my prayer is by saying, guide and guard me. Guide me where I need to go. Guard me from where I don't need to be. And if this is not what I want, please help me to be okay with that. Please help me to learn where you're guiding me and to trust you and to not hold on to something that you're asking me to let go of. Or to grab onto something I let go of that you wanted me to hold on to. When I pray guide and guard me, it's my way of reminding myself that I need to give control to God. Because whether I give it to him or not, he has it. So taking it from him really it's really inconsequential because you're not taking anything from him. He has control. So I think for me, guide and guard me is my way of reminding myself when I get caught up that I may not be going in the right direction, and I may be going in the right direction, but the only person that can tell me, the only being that can tell me that is God. And I have to trust the answer. And I have to trust the answer when I see it. And I think that's hard for people sometimes, but look back on your life of all those things that you thought you needed and look at where you are. Obviously, you could live without it. So I think guide and guard is something that keeps me humble and it keeps me focused.
You know, Dan, I want to say this last thing, and I know we're about to get ready to close, but before we do, I want to say this last thing. Trusting God is the same as trusting your car to start.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it seem like it's the same as trusting your car to start. But you know how we just trust our car to start? I mean, we just go to the car. We don't even think about it. We just push the button, and boom, it cranks up. We don't even think about it. We just know what's going to happen. We just believe it's going to happen. We just know what's going to happen. We just wake up, we get out of the bed, we walk, we just know we're going to walk. We wake up, we breathe, we just know we're going to breathe. We wake up, we open our eyes, we just know that. We go, we get some food, we just know that we're going to eat the food and it's going to be good. It's just, I'm talking about the just knowing without even having a second thought, just knowing without having a second thought. That's how we should trust God. That's how we should trust Jesus. This is how we should trust Jesus without even having a second thought. We don't think about what show we're going to watch. We can even set the alarm to make us know that show is going to come on at that time. Without even having a second thought, just trust him. Once we get ourselves out of the way of trying to control everything, therefore God says, you know what? Okay, they trust me now because now they realize that the more they try to control it, the more they're going to be held back. But when they release, it's like just going into your house and just falling back on your bed without even thinking about it, holding nowhere else to go down. You just fall back on the bed. Why? Because you know that the bed is strong enough to hold you. That's how God is. He's strong enough to hold us. That's how Jesus is. He's strong enough to hold us. When you feel like you're sinking, Jesus is reaching his hand out saying, hey, listen, I got you. Only thing you got to do is reach up. Trust me. So when people stop trying to figure it out on their own and just trust, nobody has to worry if their check is going to hit the account because they believe it on Monday that it's coming on Friday. Trust. Trust God. Stop trying to control. Trust him. And I promise you, he'll show up and show out. He's only saying, just trust me. Because in the trust, you have grace. Dan, I thank you so much for all that you're doing, man. I thank you so much for allowing us to talk about Jesus Christ over the air. I thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, man, because somebody needs to hear what the love of Jesus Christ is and what it looks like and what it feels like through our stories, through our ups and our downs, through the blessings, through the favor of God. We have so many different topics that go on every single time we hit the airway. And I am so excited that you are a strong warrior to talk about Jesus Christ. A lot of people can say God, 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 but sometimes we don't know what God they're talking about. So I like to be specific and clear that we're talking about the God that sent down the Lord Jesus Christ through the canal of Mary, the only one that saved our soul, the only one that took our sins up on the cross, the only one that was beaten to a level that we don't know who he was, the only one that was pierced in his hands, poked in his side, nailed in his feet. We're talking about Jesus. That's the same one that loves us so much. That's the same one that cares about you so much. And if you can just trust him, I would take off the if you can and just say, I trust you, Jesus. I trust you, Lord. I trust you, God, because I know that you're going to make a way. Don't be afraid of the Bible. Pick it up and start reading. It has some really good stuff in it. I mean, some stuff that will really, really intrigue your mind. Some stuff that would really, really get you out of what you're in right now. Some stuff that will really catapult you into your next destination. Just pick up the Bible. It's the Bible. It's the most popular book in the whole entire world. The bestseller. Pick it up. Read it. I guarantee you'll find some in it that you need. Dan, I love you so much, man. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on the show and just be a little small indentation to this show, man. You are doing an awesome, awesome job. And I would say this, always believe in yourself. Never stop believing in yourself. Never stop believing, because you have to say to yourself, I can, I will succeed. You got to believe it. It's a declaration. It's a decree. I say it every day. I can, I will succeed. Dan, I love you, man. I love you, love you, love you, man. Thank you so much.
I love you too, sis. Take care of yourself. Stay well. Stay safe. And yeah, thank you for absolutely everything you do. And know that I love you and I appreciate you so very much. And I'm so thankful for this constant place of peace for people, and that we get to provide this even on days with a heavy heart. So God bless you. Stay safe. Stay well, and keep being awesome. I'll talk to you soon. That coming from Miss Juanita Ward here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, inside of Lead, Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, folks. Thank you so much for being here with us, where sports meets that thing called life inside of these Cafe Kubal studios. Like I said, Lead, Learn, Evolve, Adlib, and Deliver is the acronym. Today, praying with an open mind, the topic. And Juanita Ward here with us as always, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay. I don't need to tell you, their food is awesome, their people are awesome, they're constant reminders of God and faith. And Jimmer Sikowski, pray for him every day. Pray for him, pray for Betty, pray for the whole family. God bless you, Jimmer. I love you. You mean the world to me. He's one of my closest friends, dearest friends, one of my best friends. I pray for an end to ALS. I pray for an end to all pain and suffering, and I pray that people like Jimmer can somehow, some way, remind us all of the miracles of life and the beauty of life, and can find their way past even the toughest of trials. Because God does not bow down to anybody, and God never fails, and God is all-powerful. So I pray to you, God, with all that I am. Amen. With that being said, we'll take a step aside for a fast break here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside the Cafe Kubal studios. When we come back, we'll announce our top dog of the week. And after that, Jacob Adler joins us, the Director of ESports at Marywood University, to speak with us about something we've never spoken about on the show before. So Jacob gets to make history with us in just a little bit. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville beats. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in their community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have at any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if you don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also I think we recognized that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
Head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. From inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, it is time for us to jump into the Top Dog of the Week. Top Dog of the Week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. But I cannot announce the Top Dog of the Week without my girl Lily doing her thing inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin'. So, it is time for the Top Dog of the Week. Take it away, Miss Lily. Top Dog of the Week, presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. My Top Dog of the Week this week. I'm going to be positive, okay? Glass half full. It's taken forever and a day. I've talked about it all the way up until yesterday on the show. We have been very clear about what is going on in Jacksonville. Why is this taking so long? Yada, yada, yada. And allegedly they brought in Matt Eberfluss, and they brought in Jim Caldwell, and they brought in Doug Peterson, and they brought in Byron Leftwich, and Kellen Moore, and Nate Hackett, and on and on and on and on and on. And it was, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? What are they going to do? And then last night around 11 o'clock, right before midnight, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I've covered them for such a long time, and so they sent us media that cover them an email, and I got an email last night that Doug Peterson was hired as the new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, my top dog of the week, because I'm going to glass half full. Now, if he loses, he doesn't do well, whatever happens, don't go back to this and go, oh, Dan, you said he was going to blah, blah. No, I didn't. I'm saying I'm a glass half full guy. I'm going to be positive. I'm going to be hopeful. If I was a player in that locker room, I'm saying, hey, listen, we got to go to the next era. We got to be positive. We got to think good things, right? Think lovely thoughts. And so that's what I'm going to do. I am going to make Doug Peterson the top dog of the week because the Jacksonville, and that's nothing against Byron Leftwich, it's nothing against anybody. It's just literally me saying, I'm happy that the search is over. I hope to God it works out. I'm praying and I'm hopeful. And, this has hurt my stomach. It has made me sad. This has been a long process. It looks like it was not, it just didn't look like it was a great situation. So I'm happy that it's done. I'm happy that it's over. Doug Peterson, you are my top dog of the week because you know what it takes to win a Super Bowl. You also, ironically, had Nick Foles as your quarterback when you won the Super Bowl, and then Jacksonville paid all this money for Nick Foles, and then he got hurt, and then they got rid of him for Gardner Minshew, and then they got rid of Gardner Minshew, who then became an Eagle. And so in this weird world, like everything has literally come full circle because Doug Peterson had Nick Foles, Then Jacksonville had Nick Foles. Then Jacksonville had Nick Foles and Gardner Minshew. Then they let go to Nick Foles for Gardner Minshew. Then Gardner Minshew they let go of, who went to the Eagles, and now the former Eagles coach is in Jacksonville. So essentially we could have made this all really, really easy, as if after Doug Peterson won the Super Bowl, you hired Doug Peterson, and then he brought Nick Foles with him. And then, I don't know, you would say maybe Gardner Minshew wouldn't have been a part of it. But it's a very weird world between two different shades of green, teal and forest. And it just, I don't know, it's just crazy how that storyline of following the bounce of ball kind of works out. But my hope is that things work out for the Jaguars. My hope is that this is a better era, that Doug Peterson can bring in the right coaches, that he can do the right things and make the right moves so that Jacksonville fans can finally sleep with some peace. So, Doug Peterson, I know you haven't done anything yet in Jacksonville, but I'm honoring you as the top dog of the week because I'm having hope and I'm having faith that things will work out. Yeah, and PJ wanted him, so that's the message we just got from Greg. It's funny because Papa Joe had actually texted me this morning. He said they could have done this a month ago if they had listened to us. So, good for them, good for the move, and he's my top dog of the week because he won a Super Bowl. He knows what it takes to win. In recent history, he defeated the Patriots, which not only does almost nobody do that, but the Jaguars really never found a way to do that outside of a regular season game within the last couple seasons. So, he knows how to beat Goliath. He knows how to win a Super Bowl. He's had success. He has a long connection to the sport of football, and he was a coach for multiple years. I'm a little bit concerned about how he went down after winning the Super Bowl, but I'm hopeful that things will work out. I'm hopeful he will bring a winner to Jacksonville, and so he's the top dog of the week because A, I'm proud that the search is over. B, I hope it's the right person. C, it's the first time in a long time they brought in a coach that has won anything, that, especially a Super Bowl, and so I'm going to be hopeful in this. So he is our top dog of the week. And I do that with some hesitation of what... No, I don't want to say do with hesitation. He's our top dog of the week. So, top dog of the week, proudly presented by K9 Camp Dog Daycare and K9 Kampground Dog Boarding. Thank you to all their work they do in East Syracuse to take care of our furry-loving friends. You can get in touch with K9 Camp Dog Daycare by going to K-9 KAMP.com. That's K-9 KAMP.com. And for the Kampground Dog Boarding, for longer-term care for your furry-loving friend, where they all get their cabin to themselves, so they have some privacy to relax, eat their food, and go night-night, you can go to K-9 KAMPground.com. That's K-9 KAMPground.com. And, of course, you could see them all on by going to wakeupcalldt.com and checking out the Central New York tabs. They're right there with us. So I'm giving you the honor, Doug Peterson, of Top Dog of the Week, and I pray that all good things happen in Jacksonville from here on out. Let's do this. Let's be positive. My stomach is upset. I feel a certain way, but I'm going to be hopeful. I mean, I'm very apprehensive because none of these coaching hires have been working out, but God bless, no stress, do your best, right? So I'm hoping the best for Doug Peterson. He got hired last night, and I put it up when I got it. So I hope that things go well, and God bless to him and everybody in Duval. Let's get it done. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We're coming back with Jacob Adler as Jacob tells his story of esports, how Jacob got involved with esports and becoming the director of esports at Marywood University, what it means for the community, what it means for the future of the athletic departments, what it means for Marywood, what it means for Jacob, and so much more right after this fast break. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday Thursday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavocollis.com. That's myAVICOLLIS.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout central and upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt, as well as on YouTube and Facebook.com, both /wakeupcalldt. Proud to be here hanging out with you inside of the Cafe Cubal studios. You're also listening where it's being shared on Facebook.com/live. Now, DT, we're here with Jacob Adler, who is the Director of ESports. Very happy Director of ESports at Marywood University. An awesome addition to Marywood, and I'm so excited to speak with Jacob about that. So let's bring Jacob on. Jacob, how you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking. How about you?
Doing very well. And Jacob, I gotta give it up to you. I know we were talking about it off the air. Like, you are in your element right now. You got the chair, you got the headphones in. I feel like we're gaming right now. I'm like, what are we getting ready to do? You definitely looked the part today, which I appreciate.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, this is kind of my go-to. I've got my chair just for comfort, really. Got to get that back support. But most of the time when I'm working, I've just got music in my headphones, or I'm talking to my coworkers, the team players, and just going through it.
So, Jacob, tell me, how did you get involved with esports? What brought you to this world?
Well, getting started with esports was kind of a rocky road for me. I started playing video games just like most people my age, around 13, 14, started playing with the basics, Minecraft, Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I would just spend a couple hours talking to my friends, playing some video games. And I think my interest in esports really kicked off in 2016 when I attended ESL 1 in New York, which is a competitive tournament for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Went with one of my close friends, fell in love with the environment, met so many cool people there, and that was my first foray into what the world of esports could be.
Yeah, and that experience did what for you? How did it just, I don't know, create even a deeper passion or appreciation for it?
Oh, well, from the beginning, I could tell that the scene was electric. Being in a stadium with so many people all cheering on these players, and something that we were so passionate about, something that we saw as more than just a hobby, was incredible. And that first experience got me addicted. It wasn't really until I was in college that I realized that I could do this as a job.
And having that and knowing that this could be a job. Years ago, this was not a career. This was not even spoken about. That, esports, maybe we saw a Madden tournament on television. Maybe we saw something late at night on TNT or TBS that was featuring Halo or Call of Duty or something of that. Can you just speak to the evolution of, this world that we live in today? Because, when I was a kid, it was, if you played you could play video games with your friends and whatnot, but it was frowned upon. Don't sit in front of the TV that long. Don't play those games. Don't, we were not living in a world where, staying inside all day and playing video games was like, let's go, let's do that. The kids want to do it, but, my parents were always like, hey, get outside, play some basketball, do some stuff, get around the house, just like get out in the sun. So bring me into the evolution of the fact that it was a no, don't do that. And now it's like, hey, it's a job.
Well, I got to say, even when I started doing it, my parents were like, you can't get a job in this, right? And I think that's what a lot of people say is, looking at the players, these people who earn, millions and millions of dollars playing these video games, 20 years ago, this was barely a thought in anyone's mind.
Yeah.
It really kicked off with the original LAN parties, which is, just playing video games with your friends all on the same network, hop into a server and just, run at each other and, make some fun of it. Same could be said for pretty much any sport, flag football, you get a bunch of boys together and you just play. And that's how it all starts, is it all starts with just a few guys coming together to play some games. The first LAN parties evolved. People started offering prize money. I think Counter-Strike was one of the first games that had a really, really big and flourishing competitive scene.
Yeah.
And then it started expanding. And, a lot of it came from the content creation side of things with the birth and the growth of YouTube. People saw these people making gaming videos, playing Minecraft and Counter-Strike and all these cool things. And they're like, wow, this is really cool. I want to share my experience with video games with the world. And as they started gaining traction and people started loving it, the industry started growing. It's a snowball, a little bit at a time. And, now we've got people doing esports at the collegiate level. We're talking, multi-million-dollar leagues and everything. So it's a snowball that I am happy to get behind and start pushing.
And how old are you, Jacob?
I'm 22.
So 22 years old, Director of ESports at Marywood University.
Mm-hmm.
Means what to you to have such a title at a university that obviously, I'm an alum of. I have a deep respect for Marywood and everything they've done and how they've evolved. At 22 years old, to have this on your resume means what?
It's a blessing. first and foremost, is I'm very lucky to be where I am. Throughout my 3 years as president of the esports club at my college, I realized that this is what I kind of wanted to do for a living. My degree is in graphic design, so I was hoping to just do something with esports, anywhere I could get within the industry with my experience, my training, my past. And I was just opening myself to any opportunities. But through my experience, working with some other organizations, I realized that this was what I wanted to do. A lot of it came down to luck. A lot of it came down to just being in the right place at the right time. And ultimately, I'm blessed and very grateful for this opportunity. And I'm so excited to help grow the program at Marywood.
Here with Jacob Adler, Director of ESports at Marywood University. It just hired. Bring me into it. You said right place, right time. How did it all come about?
So prior to this position, I was working as the game manager with the National Esports Collegiate Conference. I was coordinating League of Legends competitions with one other person for the whole season. We would go through, we'd contact the schools, we'd say, here's when your matches are, we'd get all the spreadsheets, all the calendars going, we'd have daily game updates for the social media, and we'd have our live streams. No sport is without fans, so we had our videos and our broadcasts live streamed to thousands of viewers, people who would tune in and watch us. So that's where I was really exposed to the collegiate scene, raw and unfiltered, basically. And from there, I saw Marywood University on the roster. That's where they got their start in the NECC. And when I saw that they had the position open, I said, you know what? I've seen what this school can do, and I hope that they've seen what I can do on the other side of the table. So that's how it all shook out, really.
And what enticed you about Marywood? What was it when you said, I saw what they could do? What did you see that stuck with you?
So as I mentioned, in my collegiate career, when I was still just completing my degree at SUNY Oneonta, I was president of their esports club for 3 years.
Yeah.
Now, the club there is not run by the athletics department. It is purely student-run, student-organized, run by the Student Association. We got a small budget, and when I say small, I mean tiny, like $500 maybe, to do with what we will. And so we were really grassroots from the ground up, sitting in the computer labs that weren't even ours, and it was a labor of love. And coming from such a small, tight-knit group of people, building it up, having competitive teams, growing our social media presence, and now we have over 200 people who we interact with pretty much daily. Seeing such a tight-knit group at Marywood, seeing this small new program as something that is in the perfect spot to grow, full of this tight-knit group of very passionate individuals who care a lot about their craft and this, I call it a hobby, but it's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's that same feeling of walking into the gaming room for the first time and seeing all the people playing, and it's electric once again.
Here with Jacob Adler, Director of ESports at Marywood University. How did the conversation happen with Pat Murphy?
The conversation, it started slow, really, as we were chatting, just a standard interview process first. I was really trying to talk about how much experience I had running this small club back at Oneonta. And then he introduced me to the teams. And that's really when I feel like the connection was there. I pride myself on being a people person. I think that's, a strong suit, not to toot my own horn, but I love talking to people. I love learning about what people's stories are, as I'm sure you know, of course, on this show. So it's one of the things that I love to do, and being able to talk with the captains and figure out what makes the teams tick was really what not only solidified, I hope, my desire to work at Marywood, but also their desire to have me work at Marywood.
So Pat putting you around the team and kind of just letting you go and saying like, hey, check it out, see what you think, and really get around everybody. You feel like that's what did it for you, was to really meet them and know them. Instead of just applying for a job, you were applying for a position after being around the people that you would be a part of, which is a really unique way. And I got to credit Pat Murphy, the Executive Director of Athletics at Marywood University, for doing it that way, to say like, hey, well, if this is something that you're actually interested in, why don't you come see the facility, come see the people, and really get a feel for it? Because not everybody does that. Some people don't let directors and coaches meet anybody until they've decided this is the person. That was the opposite for you, because Pat put you in front of them and let you, in the process of interviewing, really get a feel for it, which I think is pretty. It sounds like a simple thing, but it's actually, I think, a very smart thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to touch on it, the gaming space that's at Marywood, it's absolutely incredible. The first time I toured there, it was so much different than what I was familiar with at Oneonta. This whole area was specifically dedicated to gaming, and it's very clear from the beginning that it was this passion from the people who came before, that this was something that they really cared about to build up. And I think that's the real thing is I know I've said about it before, but every person who's part of the esports program at Marywood cares about it so much. And that's very clear to Pat, that, he's the one who said, if all these people are going to be working with under one person who's going to be coordinating this whole program, this brand new program, basically, hasn't even gotten a full year in yet, we got to make sure that everyone is on the same page. So having them come in and meet the whole team, that's the goal. And that was, I think, one of the best things that Pat could have done. And big shout out to him. I really appreciate his approach for that.
Can we discuss the logo? Because I am such a big fan of the Pacer, but and this is not the logo when I went to school there. It was very basic. And so to see this, but your esports logo, it not only has the Pacer, but the Pacer's got the headset on. I think it's so cool. And I'm gonna throw this. I know you just got the job, Jacob, but I'm gonna throw this at you. I would like some gear. We're gonna say
you want some gear. That is something that I have heard, is that the team really loves their Marywood branding stuff. And I think if we're gonna have all these people competing in the same room, competing against schools from so many other places. I mean, the NECC, they have schools in Canada, they have schools in the other side of the country, everywhere. We got to be able to distinguish ourselves. Got to rep the Pacer pride. So I think definitely some uniforms are on the table in the future, hopefully. So I'll be in touch with you when that happens.
Absolutely, because I mean, it's a subtle addition to the logo, but how cool do you think that is that they let esports do that they let, because normally your logo is your logo, but the logo has the headset on, and I just feel like that shows even more of a dedication from Marywood University to what you're doing.
I absolutely agree. It really personifies what esports is for a lot of people, because it's not this huge change. You don't need a whole new logo or anything for it. It's just a slight different way of looking at it. A lot of people who play games, they live relatively typical lives of, 9-to-5 job, and they come home and they hop on the computer and they play their games with their friends. And it's a hobby. And that's just goes to show you that anyone can get involved with esports. If you and your friends are good enough at a game, put a team together, hop in a community tournament. A lot of these games have really great communities around them. So it really speaks to the fact that anyone can do this, and anyone who's interested should get involved with esports.
Can you speak on Twitch and just what that's done for the gaming community?
Twitch, I think, is one of the biggest assets to the gaming community. Obviously, YouTube came first and started the videos that kicked off the whole trend of competitive games and professional video game players and all of this. But Twitch, being able to see someone in real time playing these games, chat with them, interact with them, have this back and forth, this dialogue, it's done so much for the community to come together and rally behind the people who they really cheer on, or the teams that they really enjoy. And especially when everyone was trapped at home for the past year, being able to stream with your friends and really show the world that, this is what we love to do. Yeah. I think Twitch has been one of the biggest things to help growing the gaming community.
Are there any other platforms or other pieces to this that you want to make mention of? Because Twitch has taken such a prominent place in the gaming world. Is there anything else that you feel is worthy of really getting some publicity in our conversation?
Definitely. I think Discord is one of the big things that people use to communicate. And it really goes under the radar because everyone uses it. And I'm putting that in air quotes because if you're not in the know or if you're not in the community, then you may not be familiar. Discord is similar to Skype, where you are able to chat with people and call them and see them on video and call them on voice. And that really kicked off a lot of what I was able to do during these past couple of years when things were more at home. I was able to communicate with the people at my college and then the people at Marywood to really get things started and growing with these esports programs. And a lot of professional gamers and competitive teams use Discord as a method of communication. And really, I think Discord is doing everything right in a chat service. They've got the teams, they've got the voice, they've got the video, you've got your group chats, and that it's really the backbone that really doesn't get spoken about a lot.
Yeah, and Discord and Twitch can work together.
Absolutely.
Really cool. Mm-hmm. So, to someone that knows literally nothing of what we're talking about, how would you describe what the esports world is? Like, you're the director of esports at Marywood University. Mm-hmm. How would you describe the teams, the leagues, what it is, the makeup of it? Because when people think about sports, they're like, okay, who's on the team and what's the schedule, right? People think about roster, coach, schedule. So how would you describe that?
In a lot of ways, it parallels traditional sports. You've got the roster. For different games, it differs. So we have 3 games that we're currently running at Marywood University. We've got Overwatch, which is a team of 6 people. We've got Rocket League, which is a team of 3 people. And we've got League of Legends, which is a team of 5 people. And each of those teams has the number of people on their roster, but they also have a coach. And sometimes the coaches wear multiple hats if they play multiple games and they can really perform. And what really winds up happening is it follows a very similar path where we participate in a couple of leagues, the National Esports Collegiate Conference, and then the NACE as well is a new addition for Rocket League. And we have our schedules that come out. We're going to try and broadcast our games on Twitch. It really mirrors traditional sports in a lot of ways. I think that's one way that we're bringing legitimacy to the industry, because in the same way that you have trainers and lawyers and broadcast coordinators for traditional sports, you have all the same things for esports. So
what does a coach typically do during a game?
Well, during the game, you're not actually allowed to say anything to the players. So there's no communication that goes on there, and that's where the captains come into play. And a lot of times the captain also is the shot caller, is what the industry terms them. They really have all of the strategy in their head. They have the ability to look at everything from 50,000 feet and say, okay, here's where we're doing well, here's where we're doing poor. And in that moment, in the heat of the moment, when you're going up against 6 other people, being able to just pause your brain and say, we're going to switch gears, we're going to go to this, that's the job of the coach. Yeah. The captain's job is to watch what the shot caller does, to watch what every other player does, and take notes and say, here's the areas where we did well, here's the areas where we did poorly. And then after the game, start running practices. If someone misses a couple of shots that they should have hit, obviously you train that in soccer. You'd make sure that the coordination is on point, communication as well, making sure that everyone has the game plan ready and going. It's very similar. So the coach's job is really the backbone alongside the captain shot caller. So,
what's the skill of it all? Because there's, from the outside looking in, the average person might say, okay, well, I play Halo in my dorm room and there's 4 of us that play. and we talk trash to each other and this, that, and whatever. I mean, what is this skill in this? How does one determine who should make this team, who should be on this team, and just the skill of it all? Because it's such a mental thing. And I think the beauty of this is that in a typical sport, you have to, you have to lift, you have to run, you have to do certain things. Esports is a world where it doesn't matter what your body type currently is. It doesn't matter if you're running. It doesn't matter if you lifted today. The mental side, though, is in everything. They tell you in life, mental toughness, every sport, mental toughness, and what I do, mental toughness. And so the mentality side of it stays the same and maybe is even turned up a notch. What can you say about the skill of it all when we look at esports? Because, there's a difference between, oh, yeah, I play this game and I play this game on a team because I guess I liken it to I can go play a pickup basketball game 3 times a year versus I'm playing 30 games a season.
100%. And it's very similar. I think one of the best ways that I've seen it likened to is to chess, where anyone can pick up and play a game of chess. But to be really, really good at chess, you have to be able to envision and know your opponent and think 5-6 steps ahead. And that's like the bare minimum for being good at chess. To being one of the best in the world, you have to have a wealth of knowledge like your own encyclopedia. It's very similar for esports. In addition to, of course, having that mental game of being able to look at things from different angles, you have to know exactly what every single thing in this game is going to do. I'm just going to throw some terms at you, and you don't need to really understand them, but you need to know the difference between Leandries, between Ludens. You need to know the difference between getting a jungle camp and getting lane XP. All of these very, very minute aspects of the game are boiled down to numbers. In its most raw essence, esports is a numbers game for a lot of these titles. And for some others, it's less a numbers game and more strategy game. It's knowing when to move forward, when to pull back, when to hold your trigger, when to unleash all of your abilities at once. And in every moment of our lives, we are forced to make decisions. Every single instant that we exist, we are forced to make decisions. And I think in esports, it's just cranked up all the way to 100. It's that same idea. Every second you're making decisions.
That's such a really awesome way to put it. And I mean, I'm going to throw this at you. You're 22. So I'm going to throw this at you. So I grew up with Sega Genesis and the original Nintendo. Speaking here with Jacob Adler, Director of ESports at Marywood University, in our Pacer Pride special and our spotlight focus on esports here at Marywood University, exclusively on Wake Up Call and our multimedia marketing partnership. And we appreciate you being here. So my buddy James had a Nintendo, and my cousin Jeremy had a Super Nintendo, and I had a Sega. So Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario, Super Mario.
Classic console wars, yep.
Right. So just really good stuff. Now, this is before Super Smash Brothers. It's before, we start to get into Halo and get into, Gears of War and Call of Duty and all that stuff. So I'm living in a world where, he's Mario, I'm Luigi. And when James is, dies being Mario, then I get to take it up and do what I can do. And, you're hoping that each other dies because you want to play. And then, the Sega side of it, huge fan. And I just found this game, and I can't believe I found this game, and I got a deal on it, $20. I can't even believe I got it for $20. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers for the original Nintendo.
Wow.
Such a good game.
That's a classic, yep.
So I have to ask you, you, Jacob. I mean, what for you is a nostalgic game? Like, I want to know 2 things. If you could go back in time and play any nostalgic game any Nintendo or Atari or Sega Genesis, bring me back to what game or games you would play. And then secondly, what's the game that like you attribute to just hooking you into this world?
Yeah. Wow. Well, like I said, the first game that I really got into in esports was Counter-Strike Global Offensive. It's a 5-on-5 tactical shooter game where the objective is to plant a bomb and have that detonate, or to defuse the bomb and prevent the bomb from going off. So, you got two teams, and that was my real first foray into it. That was the first tournament that I attended as a spectator. I got my friends together and we started a little amateur team. So that one is what I really attribute to me getting invested in the scene. But as for nostalgia, I really didn't have too many video game consoles growing up. I think the first one that I played on was the original NES in my cousin's attic in probably about 2009. But I don't really remember that much. The two games that really stick in my head are Super Mario Galaxy, which is a relatively new title. It's 2010s era, and Pokemon White version. Or it's Pokemon Black White version. And those two games are quintessential nostalgia for me, because Pokemon's been around since forever. That's like one of the staples of the gaming industry as a whole. And I gotta say, as my first Pokemon game, Pokemon Black and White version was huge and instrumental, and that's still my favorite generation of Pokemon to this day. You've got your first generation, second, third. This was fifth generation. And Super Mario Galaxy, my family got a Wii for Christmas for my brother and I in 2010, I think. And this was a year after we got the Nintendo DS, and from my parents as well as a Christmas gift. And sitting down to play Super Mario Galaxy with my brother and just looking at this beautiful game that was unlike anything I've seen before. It's like top-down Mario. Like you're not top-down perfectly, but like third-person Mario. Most of the time you see Mario as like, a 2D side-scroller. That's the original, the classic. Seeing it in third person, being able to move around this whole area was so new to me. It was so cool. I'd played, little games on my computer, pinball and Minesweeper and whatnot, but this was something that was totally new to me, and I loved it.
Yeah, I'm gonna admit something on the show that I've never admitted before. So, I had a GameCube. Funniest thing about my game, well, I've admitted this before, but what I'm about to say. So, funny thing about it is when I moved a couple times, I found my GameCube, but I didn't have like the other controller and all of the cords to hook it up. I couldn't find them. Then I'd find the cords, and then I couldn't find the GameCube. Now I think I have them all together. However, my two favorite games to play on the GameCube are Crazy Taxi and 18-Wheeler. I couldn't find those. I don't know if I know where they are still. But the game that I got for that I believe I got for Christmas, and I got to tell you, it was the beginning of the game, and I still can't figure out how to beat it. And I didn't want to go online and figure out how to do it. I wanted to learn how to do it myself. But it was Super Mario Sunshine, and there's this giant plant, and I'm just shooting water at this stupid thing for an hour and a half, and nothing happened. And you're literally, 3D panoramic, you can move around everywhere. So I'm getting dizzy, jumbled. I'm trying to spin them around, look down, whatever. And I just remember shooting this water and going why is this not working? And then I think I went downstairs for dinner and never played it again. So I have to ask Jacob, have you played Super Mario Sunshine? And can you help me?
Oh my God. I vaguely remember playing Super Mario Sunshine. My older cousin had a GameCube, and we'd only go up there a couple times for Christmas. I remember playing Mario Kart Double Dash. That was my go-to. Because we also had to have my brother play, even though I didn't want him to, and he's younger brother rivalry and all that. But I specifically remember, I think what you were supposed to do, if I'm remembering the right level, you might have had to shoot the water in its mouth to make it explode.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking in my head, and I feel like I finally figured it out. and then I'd like get up in the air and I'd try to do it, and then I felt like it wasn't working, and I got frustrated and stuff like. So, I wanna believe that, Jacob. I do. So because I'm a huge Mario fan, but I gotta say, Mario Kart.
Oh yeah.
Just I know there's a Super Smash Brother. I know like there's so many people that are within that in this esports world for you. Where does Super Smash Brothers lie? Is that a game that entices you? Is it a game that you still think is vibrant? And where does Mario Kart live in all this? Because no matter what you played, what console you had or whatever, when you went to someone's house and they had Mario Kart, you're like, I'll watch. And then like after you watch one game, you're like, I gotta play.
Yeah.
Like you're like, give me the controller. I'm gonna beat this person. And it's just, I don't know, it's just so much fun to be in a cart, to know that you can be on these crazy levels, and at the same time, you got these different powers that you can use. Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart. I would love to be enlightened by you, Jacob, on what your thoughts are.
I mean, those are the two big games. You know, I played Super Smash Bros. Brawl on the Wii. I played Mario Kart Wii against my friends, and I think the thing it boils down to is familiarity. That's what it is. Everyone can drive a car. You know, everyone eventually in their life is going to try and drive a car, and pretty much everyone has ridden in a car at least once in their life. I feel confident saying that 99% of people have ridden in a car. So it's that feeling of familiarity, so that when you're sitting behind the wheel, you're like, you know what? I know what this is. But then Mario Kart takes it and makes it fun. It makes it interesting, and they shake it up a little bit. And that's what all the most enticing titles are about. You know, Rocket League is a big one. It's just soccer, but it's with cars that have rocket boosters on the back, which is such a cool concept that can only exist in the virtual world, that, you know, the familiarity of soccer is being totally blown up into this rocket-powered battle arena. So I think that's really what draws Mario Kart in. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of support for a Mario Kart competitive league. But what I can say is running as fast as you can, trying to get to the end of the track. There are world records for that, and they're constantly being updated. So if that is something that you're interested in, I mean, you can check that out. As for Super Smash Bros. Brawl and Melee and Ultimate, I mean, as I mentioned, Super Smash Bros. Melee is still going strong. You've got these events for fighting games. I think the fighting game community is just spread really thin across a bunch of different titles, because you've got Smash, you've got Tekken, you've got Guilty Gear. Like, there's so many more that I'm not even cognizant of. But Marvel vs. Capcom, you know, there's all these titles that the fighting game community is stretched kind of thin. But when they find a game and there's more than a few people to play it, you got something magical there. So I think Smash Ultimate and Melee and pretty much any other fighting game for that matter is going to stick around for a really long time.
What determines, before I let you go, speaking here with Jacob Adler, Director of ESports at Marywood University, in this edition of Pacer Pride, exclusively on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, inside of the Cafe Kubal studios here in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. Rocket League, Overwatch, League of Legends, you've mentioned all three of these. What determines, especially at the collegiate level with esports, what determines what leagues there are, what games are being played? How does this get determined? And because obviously you have to be able to play different colleges and universities. So how do these things get determined, and how often could they change?
I mean, I think right now the industry is still evolving at a record pace. I've done some looking through a couple of different journals, specifically one of them being the Trends in Collegiate Esports from Esports Foundry for 2021. And that's just, I'm not sponsored or anything. That's just what I've been reading, and it's like my go-to for looking at what the industry is doing. I have the whole thing earmarked. Essentially, it talks about growth. In 2021 and now 2022 is just record growth for the industry. We're still seeing so many new different games come out, so many different leagues come out. What it really boils down to is having the support for it. If you get more than a couple people together who are interested in something, you can make something magical happen. I've interacted with a few of these leagues that are really grassroots, small communities over the years, just a bunch of people who love the game. And, I mentioned I work for the NECC, National Esports Collegiate Conference. They've just started, I think they were on year 0 last year when I started working with them. So now they worked out that was the year before I started working with them. So they're still working out some of the kinks. They were just the New England Collegiate Conference at one point. It spawned out of that, and it grew into something that now spans the whole country. It's really not build it and they will come. It's more along the lines of let's get some people together and make something special. And I think that really sums up the whole industry. It's a passion for us. It's a labor of love. We're willing to dedicate our blood, sweat, and tears to make this happen. And I'm more than happy to contribute to seeing it grow, and at Marywood.
Rocket League, Overwatch, League of Legends, do you have a favorite?
I mean, I've put over like 1,500 hours in League of Legends in the past year alone. So that's the one that's been captivating my attention. I put some time into Overwatch. I put some time into Rocket League. I don't know if I can pick a favorite, but right now League of Legends has my attention. That's for sure.
Okay, fair enough. And in closing, the great thing about this too, Marywood University is Division III. However, in the world of esports, there are divisions, but it's kind of wide open. JUCO, D1, D2, D3. Marywood has a win over Purdue, a Division I institution. So Marywood literally could boast someday of beating Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Florida, USC, Texas. It's really unique. I'd love for you, Jacob, to expound on the fact that there really are no barriers of who you can play because it's an internet world. All you got to do is be able to go online and go up against each other. So the beauty of all of this is that Marywood University isn't a D3. And listen, I love D3 and I love everything I've done, but Marywood does not have to stick within these confines when it comes to the esports world and can truly play anybody. And I love the fact that I get to say my alma mater took down big old Purdue. So I'd love for you to expound on that a little bit.
I mean, 100%. That's the thing right now and I don't want to say that it's because it's so new, because the industry is still growing, but that's the reason that we don't have divisions. We do have some divisions. In the NECC, it's divided up by your skill cap and your skill rating, but ultimately it doesn't always correlate. I'd say the big contenders in esports right now are schools like Maryville, and you've got Columbia College, I think, was a big one. UT Dallas, I know, is huge. There's more than a few. I know SUNY Canton is doing incredible things within the SUNY system. All these schools that are relatively nobodies within the traditional athletic space are putting up numbers in esports. And I think that really is a testament to the fact that this industry is growing and it's really open to anyone who wants to play. There's so much accessibility. All you really need is a computer. You don't need to be the most athletic guy on the field. You don't need to have the height advantage for basketball. You don't even need to know how to ice skate. All you got to do is sit down at your computer, sit down at your keyboard, get some buddies together, and you could really make something special.
And in the NECC playoffs, started 4-0. Springfield won 3-0 in that first round against Purdue again, 3-1. Bryant University, another D1 school, 3-2. New England College, 3-0. To speak to that, the 4-0 start and going into the playoffs and just lining them up and knocking them down. Marywood definitely made a presence there.
100%. And that's one of the things that we're really hoping to bring into the next year participating in the NECC. We're trying to put these numbers up. We're trying to get some more involvement. We're trying to bring it home.
So what would you like to say to the student body of Marywood University on why they should get involved?
I think everyone loves video games to a certain degree. Everyone knows at least a little bit about video games. And I think it's that interest in video games, that love for the craft in some cases, that really draws people in. But you don't have to go pro in all of these games in order to be a part of the industry that drew me in and drew so many other people in to loving it. There's so many different ways you can get involved. You could be with broadcasting, you could be with coaching, you could be with administrative, you could work on the social media, you could do graphic design. There's so many different avenues for you to go down. If you're passionate about video games and you're passionate about the competitive integrity of video games, I highly encourage you to get involved however you can. Come talk to me, come talk to anyone in the esports club or the esports program here. And even at your own college, if you've only got, a couple people who are interested in esports, get them together, talk to them. The way that this industry continues to grow is by communication. That's the biggest thing that is fueling the esports industry. So if you're interested, just talk to people. We're more than happy to help.
Amazing way to conclude this edition of Pacer Pride with Jacob Adler, the newly hired Director of ESports at Marywood University, bringing us into a new era with a tremendous, tremendous opportunity for growth, for excitement, for a whole lot of fun. And I'm going to say it again because I got to keep it in Jacob's ear. New gear, baby. That's what we want.
I'll work on that as soon as I can.
Jacob, it has been my absolute pleasure having someone of your expertise on this broadcast and to be able to really dive into the world of esports. I'm very, very much honored. I've been wanting to do this conversation for a while, so knowing of your hiring was a perfect timing for all this, and I really am thankful for you spending the time that you spent with me today.
Thank you very much. The pleasure's all mine. This is something that I love, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to talk to you about it. So thank you for having me on here.
Cafe Cabal Mobile Cafe brings the cafe experience to you. We'll roll out to your neighborhood or office ready to serve our locally crafted espresso bar to our loyal patrons. Inquire at cafecabal.com. Cafe Cabal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the Whole Frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
Here at Progressive Dental, we understand the importance of regular dental visits and preventive care. Cleanings and checkups are essential to good oral health. We have multiple locations in the Southern Tier, so come visit us in Binghamton, Enwell, Kirkwood, Montrose, and Norwich. For self-pay non-insured patients, we offer the Smile Plan, which covers all of your cleanings, x-rays, and exams for an affordable yearly price. Call 607-754-2273 or 607-754-CARE to make an appointment today. For more information, visit our website at progressivedentalny.com.
The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Make sure you make your way out to the Millhouse Market today and every Tuesday through Sunday for their general store, as well as their indoor dining with a bistro menu that changes every single week to come back and try something new from the mind of Rebecca Alford, the owner and creator of all of your favorites on that menu. And of course, you can go to the drive-through window, grab your food, and go. Download the app at the Millhouse Market on Apple app or Google Play stores. All you have to do is type in Millhouse Market. You'll have everything at your fingertips, all the menu items, everything that's inside ingredients-wise for each of those menu items, and you can have a map right there to bring you to the Millhouse Market from wherever you are. You literally go onto the Millhouse Market app. You can look at the entire menu, order your food, contactless pay. You could tip on the app. It will send you an email and an approximate time of when you can pick up your food at the drive-thru, and you can get a map of directions from wherever you are to the Millhouse Market. Making it simple, making it easy, keeping it fresh, and keeping it so incredibly amazing and unique to our community. The Millhouse Market is really that nook and cranny that should be in every community, and I'm so thankful it's in ours. 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. Worth the drive every time. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank you for being a part of the show. I want to thank you for hanging out with me where sports meets life today and every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. You watch and listen on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and on facebook.com/livenowdt. You're also hanging out with us listening live worldwide on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt and on wakeupcalldt.com. So thank you for tuning in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And after the show goes live, thanks for checking out the archives on Stitcher, Spotify, MixLR, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Podbean, YouTube, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. All you have to do is go and search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on any one of these avenues, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. A big shout out to all of our partners: Cafe Kubal, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Mod Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. You can go there at 201 Old 7 North Street in Liverpool, New York, here in our community, and you can order anywhere in the country by going to maandpazpopcorn.com. That's ma and spelled out pazpopcorn.com. Progressive Dental, Avocolis, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay, Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, the Millhouse Market, Lemoyne Dolphins, Pizza Man, Honda City of Liverpool, Mother's Cupboard, Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, and the home of my nachos that you've already started ordering within the first couple days of them being on the menu. What? That's right, baby. Nachos have never been done right in Central and Upstate New York, in my opinion. So I brought the ones that I make at home to your doorstep by bringing them to PB&J's Lunchbox. You can go there and order them on site at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York, or you can order from them directly, or you can order on DoorDash, Eat Streets, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. All of those avenues. You can get my nachos, the award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly, and so much more at PB&J's Lunchbox. So making sure that you check that out today and support local. With that being said, Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is the proud multimedia marketing partner of your for all they do in our community, and we welcome you here every Wednesday for Dolphin Time. That time is 9 a.m. Eastern Time every single Wednesday. Set it and keep it. Every Wednesday, 9 a.m., guaranteed Lemoyne Dolphins coverage. Every first and third Wednesday, it's AD and DT featuring Athletics Director Bob Beretta and myself, Dan Tortora, with new episodes on new topics. Every second and fourth Wednesday, it's Dolphin Dive featuring student athletes as well as coaches, staff members, alumni, and future students of Lemoyne College. So, fins up all the time. Wednesdays at 9 is Dolphin time. All throughout the month, there's Dolphin specials, there's videos, pictures, and so much more. You definitely don't want to miss all of our Lemoyne College content in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership. Check out the Lemoyne tab on wakeupcalldt.com. You can also go to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and become a member there by subscribing for free. And, of course, you can get more information at LemoyneDolphins.com. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora is also the proud multimedia marketing partner of your Marywood Pacers. It is Pacer Pride all the time, every single month. And, of course, you could check out the Pacers here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, rounding out our broadcasts every Friday with new Pacer Pride episodes. So don't miss a second of the Pacers here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora with our exclusive Pacer Pride conversations. You can get all of those by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and clicking subscribe. You can also go to the Marywood tab on wakeupcalldt.com and find out more information by going to marywoodpacers.com. Pacer Pride special and coverage in our exclusive multimedia marketing partnership every single month. And as of February 1st, we proudly welcome to the family your Brian and Stratton Syracuse Bobcats. Brian and Stratton here with the Bobcat Buzz. First episode going to be airing this Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Don't miss a second of our coverage of the Brian and Stratton Syracuse Bobcats. So happy to have them here with us and so very thankful to everybody on staff, and a big grateful thank you to the Brian and Stratton College Bobcats for reaching out here to me and giving me an opportunity and seeing what I did from afar and wanting to work together. I am so happy to yell, "Go Bobcats!" And I look forward to everything we're going to do. Bobcat Buzz exclusive special is going to be airing every single month on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, including coverage of the Brian and Stratton Bobcats in a way you've never had before. The spotlight's on Brian and Stratton. The Bobcat Buzz is here, and I am so welcome and happy and honored and privileged to bring them into the family. So welcome to the Bobcats. With that being said, on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you stay safe. I hope you get to where you're going travel-wise and give yourself enough time to get to where you're going. So please be good to yourself. Please be safe. Please be sound. And please do everything you can to make sure that you're being good to yourself and to others. I hope you have a great day. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I can't wait to talk with you soon. In the meantime, find us on Facebook at Wake Up Call DT, Twitter at Call DT, and Instagram at Wake Up Call_DT. Thank you to Carvel DeWitt for the annoying moment of the week. Thank you to Chick-fil-A Cicero and Chick-fil-A Clay for lead, and Juanita Ward for being a part of it. Learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver is the acronym. Shout out to Doug Peterson, the Jaguars' new head coach, and the top dog of the week honors coming from Canine Kamp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And a big thanks to Jacob Adler and Marywood ESports, the new Director of ESports at Marywood University. So, in the meantime, have a great day. God bless y'all. Stay safe, stay well, and stay warm. And as always, God bless, no stress. Do your best. We'll talk soon. Have a great week. Thank you for making this week special. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. God bless. From the Cafe Kubal Studio.